Welcome, everybody, to the Saturday live stream. What's up, fellows? Richard Stevens, you can't make the stream. It's all right. What's up, Steve, SRT8? See you scrapping. What's up, buddy? John Daly, the knife guy. What's up, man? I use that knife all the time, dude. I really appreciate it. Damn, am I coming in hot on that mic? Laurent from France. What's up, people? So today we're going to be running the Stator record live. I got a small Stator back here, and I also have a couple transformers that I'd like to try to split. Now, I don't know how well I'm going to be able to pull the copper from the transformers because I don't have the right clamp. The one I have is it's more geared for grabbing the coils on these things. And I actually have a video, a regular video coming up for you guys showing that. What's up, Kathy from Ohio? German. What are we doing today? Building and splitting? No, we're splitting and pulling. What's up from Holland? I saw the 3 videos of the original. That thing's on another level. Yeah, it's getting there, man. And we ain't even done, dude. There's aspects of this machine that I haven't even showed or mentioned what it's gonna do. It's gonna be next level when it's done. You know, there's a lot of Stator wrecking machines out there, and there's a guy who made a comment on one of the main videos, and he said that they had a real deal one, you know, like the ones you can buy, the industrial ones, and he was having problems with the blade cracking and chipping, and then big chunks falling off. And that's actually something that the guy I bought that from said that's because I asked, you know, I always ask questions about the longevity, what happens, you know, maintenance, and what they're made out of. He didn't really want to get into what they were made out of, but it's a, you know, it's probably more of like an AR, you know, abrasion resistant steel. And then it's like heat treated to where he said it's heat treated to where it's not too hard to where it's brittle, and it still has some flex in it. And you'll see in a couple videos that I have coming up about like the flex and having everything parallel, square is very important for this. And you're just paying attention to what you're doing. Let's see what we got here. The big box from a month ago. Did you ever get approval to open it? Jim, what's up, buddy? You know, they went me to go. They sent me out there to look at that job. I guess they were getting a quote on it. I thought they had the job because he was talking about, you know, me going there. I haven't heard nothing back from them on it. Either it's still in the works or they didn't get the job. I don't know. Unfortunately, I would have loved to get those because I would have kept one and tried to get the panels off the roof. Jamie from Scotland, what's up? You're a fellow wire buyer? That's cool. Do you process the wire or you just buy it and sell it? What's up, Tracy? What's up? I don't even know what your name is. The dude from Belgium. Sorry, I'm like retarded, so I can't read all the time. Vladimir K, what's up from the Ukraine? What's up from the Czech? We got people from all over the world here. That's amazing. Watching from Texas, taking a break from scrapping. Yeah, it's always good to take a break, Johnny. I'm talking about those old videos in Italian. Oh, okay. So you know what I'm building. Yeah. Um, Where'd that guy say that? He said he saw the original 3 videos. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's that guy who, in my opinion, is the master at separating copper from electric motors. Okay. That guy's setup is so dialed in and he was doing it so fast and precise. It literally blew my mind when I seen that. And I immediately started, the gears started turning and I I started gathering the parts to build it. His setup, I mean, that's a big setup he's got. And this is just prototyping for something I want to build on his scale. But that guy, there's one guy he was in the UK, I think. There's another video of a guy that tried to replicate that. And I actually contacted both of those people, but the guy in the UK I actually got a hold of. He's a pretty cool dude. He's not even a scrapper, but he replicated the machine on a smaller scale like this. And I asked him where he got the idea from, and he said he got it from the master. And that guy, that Italian guy, he is the master. Yeah, very old videos, grainy, hard to see. But someone like me, I just need to see the concept. And as soon as I seen what he was doing, it blew my mind. And I was like, after watching hundreds of videos on electric motors, I'm like, this is the guy. This guy, he's got it. Skills, what's up, man? What's up, Tank? Don? Oh, you're in Maine, currently visiting Indiana, visiting scrappers, really? That's something I wanted to do is take a road trip and go visit some other YouTube scrappers. Jamie Hubbard. I used to work for a subcontractor for a company called Hubbard Construction. They built bridges. I went in there and I demoed the old bridges and they build new ones. So you process and selling, but hard to get that 500 MCM. Yeah. That stuff ain't easy to come by. And anybody that gets that 500 or 600, they know what they got and they want a premium for it. So I pay big bucks for that stuff. I usually match, or sometimes I beat the scrapyard by like 10 cents a pound, just because I know how fast I'm going to recover it with my setup. You got to be geared up for that stuff, man. What's up from Washington State? White Rhino from Romania. What's up, buddy? You've been splitting 120 horse motors by hand lately? Holy crap, man. Wow. I just split some big back ends from a generator, the big Stators. Have you solved the blade straight trajectory and slag in the press? Kind of. There's still a lot of play going on here. What I need guides. I need those, the press, like this part, this thing here. I need that setting in a track that's at least 2 or 3 feet long. So I'm going to need like some 1/2 inch thick angle, or some. I need to build a trackway for it so that it only goes up and down. It won't do all this wonky stuff. There's a lot. There's a lot going on with this because it was just a press made to sit on the floor, and it's like hovering off the edge of a table. So it's totally opposite of the way it's supposed to be done. But so that I can load and have the level table, everything's on the same plane. It kind of has to be that way. Ultimately, I want to build a next one out of 1/2 inch thick I-beam, like big, thick stuff. This stuff here is only like a 1/4 inch thick. This 55-ton press. and we are pushing this thing. There's a video coming up where I was trying to split some rotors, the insides of the stators, with that, and it was doing it. I got most, but what was happening is I was putting so much pressure. My 10,000 psi pump was kicking in the low gear, and it was putting so much pressure on that blade. I was worried about damaging it. So you'll see in the video coming up, I have a workaround. We're gonna be dialing it in, man. Jason, you're doing it with a sledge and a brick chisel. Wow. That's a lot of work, man. How are you pulling the copper out? Because I did I don't know about electric motors. The electric motors, sometimes they seem to pull easy. I did a whole bunch. You'll see a video coming up. I just did a whole bunch of AC compressors. Those pulled out like butter. I guess because they live their life in a bath of oil. Like they were really nice actually to pull, splitting like butter, pulling like butter. I mean, the machine, what I'm really limited at right now is the flow. I don't have enough gallons per minute on these pumps. They're little 10,000 psi pumps. They're great for high pressure, but they're not great for volume. That guy that was mentioned in those 3 videos from Italy, that guy he probably had a big 3-phase, a regular hydraulic pump, probably 20 to 30 gallons a minute. And he was probably only running a 3,000 to 4,000 psi system, but he had big cylinders. He had monster cylinders pushing down, and he had a big cylinder pulling. Well, the cylinder he had pulling was maybe a little bit bigger than my pull cylinder. And my pull cylinder, because the way I'm pulling with it, I would actually have more power if I was pushing, but I would have to turn the cylinder around and build like a setup. When I move this over to the other thing, I'm going to have everything kind of working backwards, and it's going to be a little bit more fabricating to get what I want. But what I'm going to have is a compact system. It's not going to be, I don't need as much. Like the hydraulics are actually going to be right up underneath the press, if that makes sense. And it's going to do everything I needed to do without having to take up a 10-foot section of table. The whole system will be compact within probably, a 6 or 5 foot section or whatever it is. It's going to be pretty awesome. Let's see what we got here. Right, Wino, everything's good. Just chilling and watching you. Part of the problem with the point of the blade makes a secondary entry at a different layer. The slides are okay. So, matter of fact, you're probably going to see it with this one because I'm probably not going to penetrate this in one stroke. So we're going to come down on it, and I did some big. I mean, they were probably like this big around electric generator stators, and we came down on it, and what we found is you don't pull out. Okay, you got to leave the tip in there. You bring it up, and then you rotate it with the tip in there, and then you just come back down on it. It actually worked really good. He has 100-ton. Yeah, that's what this cylinder is. And it's, I mean, when that pump starts getting into like low gear, I know that 100-ton cylinder is starting to work. And this is only a 55-ton press. I don't want to start bending stuff yet. I have some I-beams I'm going to wrap this with and reinforce it because the 100-ton cylinder is staying on there. But what I do want to do is add 2 cylinders to the side to push this up and down fast and give me the stroke I need so that I can utilize the whole 9 inches of that blade. Plus, I'm going to be making another blade. Like I'm going to take like the one I made for Romatic. I made that blade and I polished it and I oiled it and I watched the video. That thing sliced through those stators like butter. Now, will it hold an edge as long as this blade? Probably not, because it was just mild steel. You really need some like AR 4 or 5 or even 600, something like that. And I was actually originally, and I ordered one off of eBay and it never came. I had to fight with them to get my money back. I ordered a small blade for the front a bucket of a front end loader. Those blades are super hard, super abrasive resistant, very tough. And I was actually going to take it and cut 2 pieces so that they would fit kind of like this, and I would weld them on to a bigger plate of steel and make a blade, but it never came. But I have another way. This is it still behind me? This, I'm going to make a blade out of this round thing. I'm going to cut a section out of here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld the edge. I'm going to get it down close to where it needs to be, and then I'm going to hard face the edge of it and then grind that hard face down into the thing. Because the real reason I bought this $500 blade is just to see what it was so I can replicate my own. You know, I don't want to like I'll put that thing to the side and just use it as a backup if I break my own. But like the one I made for Romantic, I literally just copied that and it worked. It actually worked amazing. Let's see what else we got in here. What determines the speed of the hydraulics? RPM of the electric motor? Well, kind of, but not really. It's actually the pump and the vanes. If you have gear driven pump or piston pump, yeah, I guess the RPMs would affect it. But like it's the flow that really, you know, there's a lot involved with hydraulics to get the pressure up there. Let's see here. To pull the copper, I have a pipe just smaller than the stator. I put half the motor on the copper side down, and I have split the end solid rod to grab the copper, and I use a sledgehammer down vertical. So you're driving it down with a sledgehammer. Dude, you're working, man. I respect you. The first couple motors I ever did, it was like that. We cut the end off and we were beating it out, man. It was a lot of work. Can you create a central hydraulic pump and distribute with pipes for all your machines? Yeah. So the only reason I have these small pumps is I actually traded some LEDs for that 10,000 PSI pump and a 10,000 PSI cylinder when I originally went from pneumatics. And I'm kicking myself in the butt. I had this huge automatic ice packing machine I got from a dude that built machines for Ready Ice. And at the time, I didn't realize what I had. It had all the cylinders I needed. It had and everything was actuated by switches. So the cylinder would go so far and hit a switch and activate an electric valve. I had all the electric valves I needed. I had all the switches I needed. I had 2 big giant Parker cylinders. I had a big pump with a reservoir, literally everything. I didn't realize I had what I needed for this machine. I literally gave it to my neighbor. Well, I took some parts off of it, but all the hydraulics I gave to my neighbor who was starting a hydraulic cylinder and pump repair business. He went out on his own. He worked for a company and he was building a test thing. And I was like, oh, you need a pump and a reservoir. And he was, looking to get all this stuff. And I was like, here, take this. He's using it to this day. and he's got a huge shop now, doing really good, doing repairing cylinders and stuff. But I literally gave him everything that I needed, and then like literally a month later, I seen the machine, and I'm like kicking myself in the butt because I gave away everything I needed for it hydraulic wise. But yes, eventually this setup will run off a big 220 hydraulic pump with valves, like, you know, like a tractor valve or whatever. And it'll power the up and down and the puller and some other things. Like, because eventually what's going to happen is I'm going to have 3 stations to do this. There's going to be the first station, which is going to crack and open the stuff up and get the stator ready for splitting. There's going to be the splitting station and then a pulling station. It'll be just like my transformer press, where one guy's going to do one task over and over and over. And then, you know, once you do like 10 of them, 15, 20 of them, you're going to get into a rhythm. You're going to learn all the tricks, and it's just going to, you know, repetitive stuff, man. You just get in a good groove and you just fly through it. It makes it a lot easier. Are you planning on building a separate press? Oh, for pulling the windings, you could have 2 guys working. Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Matter of fact, since I don't use my transformer press that much anymore, it's still going to be able to crack transformers because that plate, the jig just pulls right out of there, and then that top piece comes right off. I'm going to set that up for pulling. I'm going to add a some type of arm, basically, so that I can have a hydraulic cylinder, and I could even do it with a cable. I don't even need like a hydraulic cylinder. I can use a what do you call it? A winch. But when that thing gets moved to this table, all those machines are going to kind of get reworked. They're still going to do the same thing, but they're just going to be adapted to pull in and split in. And we're actually going to add a splitter. And I mean, when I say we're going to add a splitter, we're going to add a splitter unlike anything anyone's ever seen. Those big giant stators I get for the generators, the big boys that are, you know, this big around, we're going to be able to split them in one pass. I have some big old 2-inch thick discs over here. We're going to flame cut them with the torch, get them the size, and then I'm going to put them on my milling machine and mill. We're going to make a giant, we're going to have the biggest guillotine blade you've ever seen. Empire finds Gill Skills Scorpion Metals had last video was a wood splitter motor attempt. I sent him here. Yeah, so I get a lot of comments about, oh, why don't you use a wood splitter? Why don't you use a wood splitter? They have the stroke, and I've seen a lot of people use them, and they work. But it's just going to be for the application that I want. This is what I need. Okay. Because that's just going to one portion of it, you know, and it's just not. I could probably repurpose the hydraulics if it was electric. I can't be running gas inside, so I need an electric pump. Hammer the copper loops to grab with the first bar. Put the giant chisel with the U-tip and grab the copper. I put the piece to hold the chisel, and then hammer away with an 8-pound sledge. Dude, you're putting in work, buddy. If you're getting a lot of them, man, you know, work on getting yourself something like this. Or I've seen I like watching all the different videos. You could even just get a winch. If you can just secure the stator to something, get a winch and a claw. And just use the winch to pull the copper so you're not beating it with a hammer. Harden it. So I was actually looking into hardened steel. And what the heck is that noise? Something rattling would come through on my mic. The problem with that is you're not putting more carbon in the steel. So it's like you almost have to melt it to do that. I mean, yeah, you can quench it and do this and that, but it's not going to be like what you really need. Um, so one thing I want to say is about every. I had a bunch of questions and people saying, "Oh, I should be using a flat blade or even a convex or reverse V." Um, Here's my thoughts on that. On the bigger stuff, it might be okay, but when you get into the smaller motors and especially the thinner ones where the metal is not thick, even this one with the point crushed it. Okay. So what I like about the point is you're getting a small point down in there to start the spread and start the cut. And then because it's V like this, it's actually pushing not down to cut, it's pushing almost sideways and down. And when you have your thing in a V, it's pushing out like this, out towards the side, towards the structure of the roundness. So, in my opinion, yeah, I've seen the flat blades work, but you're pushing more of a downward on the coils. This, in my opinion, is the best way to go. Even though it is kind of sketchy with that little point, which is why I'm going to make my own because you'll see in a video I have coming up where I was tweaking the heck out of this blade, um, and um, and definitely the having everything straight is a huge thing because I had this blade coming down sideways and it split a stator on a huge angle. Um, what's up, Frank Naples in the house? So I haven't had a chance. My editor is actually supposed to be coming today with my. They live out there where my mailbox is, so I have them get that stuff. My package was delivered, and they'll be bringing it to me today. And as soon as I get that stuff, we're gonna get back on melting. We're gonna make a couple cool ingots, and probably I won't be going live next weekend, but the following weekend we're gonna do a live pour. And by then, I'll have it dialed for the mill. We're going to pour it and mill it and make a complete ingot to so I can show you what I'm kind of going for. And maybe in that time frame, I'll have another ingot maker, or I'll start on that. Keep it rounded on the bottom. Just sharpen it. I think it will be better for the stators. You know, it's funny because the guy that I seen that was splitting that I'm replicating, his splitter was nothing but a huge arm like this with a hydraulic ram pushing down on this end, and it's stationary here, and it literally just came down like this and split everything. But I even seen him have an issue with a couple ones. I mean, it split everything, big ones and little ones. But he even had an issue with a couple things. And one thing I've seen a lot of people, and I don't get this, a lot of people, they don't have a gap in their V for the blade to fully penetrate. And it's looking like they're just going to drive their point or the end of their blade into their surface and mess up their tip. What else we got in here? Greetings from Madrid, Spain. What's up, man? You're gonna rival the French with that new blade? Hey, man, we're going big over here, dude. We want to. So I live in South Florida, and as you can hear, there's a storm right now going on. It's raining out. We have hurricanes, so generator service is huge down here. So since most of my transformer work has slipped away to LEDs, um, I need to venture off into a new thing, which is going to be electric motors and generators, like mainly generators, man. I'm going to go after all the generator companies. And I have a way. I got a plan for the sales, which is going to be, that's the whole problem with recycling is anybody that deals with copper, mainly electricians, okay, they get tons of calls from people looking for their copper. So they're annoyed with scrappers. You know, it's going to be, I've said this many times, man, it's an uphill battle trying to get customers. What's up, Electronic Waste Explorer? Um, I think the regular mild steel will work fine. Just need occasional grinder to touch up the tip and stay sharp as long as you are mostly splitting and not shearing bolts. Yeah, I've actually seen a couple people. One of the guys was splitting transformers. Like a matter of fact, like one I have right here, and he just ran that thing right through the bolts, which the hardened blade, depending on the bolt, yeah. Um, you know, do you think a titanium blade would work, or is it too brittle? I don't know, man. That would be cool though. Lightweight and super strong. I don't know how abrasion resistant titanium. I guess it is really abrasion resistant because it's really hard to mill, from what I understand. Which is another. I actually probably 3 years ago now, I had some titanium on the channel that I recovered from a heat exchanger or something, and I took it to the scrap yard, and I was shocked that titanium is not worth much in scrap. And there's a few reasons. One, it's really hard to process and machine, and it's really, you have to have a setup for it because it's called pyrophoric. It's a pyrophoric metal, means it'll literally explode or catch on fire. And when they do melt down scrap titanium, they're literally expecting explosions, and they have their setup geared up for that. So I took the stuff back, and I'm going to do some experiments with it, and we're going to try to set the titanium on fire, which is going to be awesome. Um, Brian Bradshaw, what's up, dude? I like what you've done with the splitter. Thanks, man. It's going to get better here. Have you considered making a fork-like blade that would give you 2 points to grab the transformer and lead the point to cut? A 2-point fork. I don't know. Are you equipped to drain the refrigerant? So I do have a machine to suck down any stuff that's in those, but I don't, the stuff that I get right now, they're already cut and drained. Like I don't, those coils that I got just the other couple videos back that I did, they had a guy come and drain them before I even showed up to remove them from site. I was told it costs so much to pay someone to drain refrigerant that it's not worth it for copper. So funny thing is, my neighbor here, who is a huge electrical or AC contractor, I'm actually in talks with him right now. He's had someone he's been using for years. I don't like stepping on other people's feet, but he's not really happy with the guy, and I think I'm going to kind of move in on someone's territory. But people are paying if you can recover this stuff. You can sell it. You got to recover it and put it in a bottle, and then they're buying it by the pound or some shit over here. But yeah, I do have it's a whole big thing with all these gauges and hoses and stuff and valves to suck down the AC systems. So that's something we will be getting into. and hopefully it'll be another source of revenue, because if I can suck it down, you know, um, the guy that I went and picked those things up, I'm pretty sure he paid them to come suck them down, and then he's probably getting paid for that stuff. Just let it leak out. Yeah. The titanium was from an ice maker. Yeah, I think that titanium was from like a yacht ice maker or something. You got to run. Hope you have a great afternoon. Um, thanks, Gil Skills. Thanks for stopping by. You have a dog? Kind of, yeah. What's up, Scrap It JC? We got a safety officer over here, making sure that we're doing things by the book and OSHA approved. Havoc water chiller towers are where the big copper's at. Need to hire a semi to move. Wow. Yeah, I'm actually looking to get a big fifth wheel trailer, because I know a couple people that are crane operators, and they do a lot of removals from the huge units on the roofs, and I want to get into stuff like that. But my trailers aren't big enough right now to haul some of that stuff. I mostly do Havoc, and I get from companies, so I don't have to worry about Freon. What do you mean? You repurpose it, or what are you doing with it? All right, guys, I'm going to get set up to start. I want to get splitting on this thing real quick. Unfortunately, I burned up the tips in my plasma cutter, so we're gonna have to use the torch to open this thing up. I think this thing's gonna open up pretty quick. I'll get the other camera. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Whoops. There we go. Have that companies remove it before you pick it up. Okay. What's up, sliced rice? The only thing that sucks about refrigerant is there's thousands of different kinds of them. Most you can't mix, and you have to have a license to sell it, and you need at least 500 pounds. Really? So how would you determine, would like the compressor state on there, or the machine state on there what type? I guess, yeah, I guess it would tell you what type it needs. That's interesting. I mean, we're going to look into that, because down here in South Florida, AC is huge, so there's like a never-ending supply of stators and electric motors and stuff. But my ultimate goal is, like, I want to be the guy that the scrapyards sell their stators to, and their electric motors, and the AC compressors. Like the AC compressor, we were over here plasma cutting it, and I think Steve burned up the last tip on my plasma cutter. Just because I think the matter of fact, I'm going to email them people. They sent me the plasma brand new in the box. It was missing the cup and the little standoff for the plasma cutter. We tried to make one, but it's still burned up. So I'm gonna hit this thing with the torch real quick. We'll get this thing exposed, and see if we can't get it split. put a line on here now. A lot of times, if you look inside these things, see if this camera is. If you look inside these things, there's usually gaps. And you always, if you're using a torch or a plasma cutter, or even your grinder, you always want to try to find one of them gaps. So you're only cutting the thin metal and not like the whole big chunk of steel. Put our safety glasses on. I should be wearing glasses, and I got my Florida attire on here. We shouldn't be doing torching with this setup. Hey, that's how we roll around here. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Now, a lot of times, somewhere on here, there's going to be a little plug weld. Got a fire. Where they welded the stator to the thing, and I think mainly so that under high torque, it doesn't rotate in the case, because that could be catastrophic. This one, it didn't. Okay, that was pretty simple. A lot of wire on here. I can just leave it. I throw it in there. Leave as much of that stuff on there as possible. Now, I think I'm going to have to use. Let's see. Probably going to have to prop this up in the this thing here. I think we're far enough away. I'm not going to have to worry about it touching. Oh man, look at that. We are literally right there. See if we can get up a little closer on that. Okay, now, problem I have is I really have no way to reference whether we're square with the blade. So I'm just going to start plunging into it, and we're going to see. Now this thing here, it's got some weird angles on it. If you can look here, these things are like twisted and rolled, and it's actually not round. But I'm going to show you what we did the other day. Okay. Now, another thing is sometimes there's gaps in the coils, and you don't always need to, if you find a gap, you can probably make less cuts. See how tight this is. Oh, I forgot my lube. Oh, there we go. What I did the other day, I left the tip in there like that. I think oil is definitely your friend with this stuff. Lube just makes everything better. Just roll it to the next section. I'll come up just a little bit more. Now, ultimately, when I have, oh, see, now we're almost like in between things. Yeah, we're in between cuts. Just gonna send it. Now we're lubed up. We can just drive it in. So definitely with some better hydraulics. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that hydraulic pump setup. It's just for a different application. Oh wow, we got some homemade pineapple juice. So with a bigger blade, longer stroke, and faster hydraulics, that would have been done in literally like a couple seconds, 5 or 6 seconds. Okay. Um, I wonder if a straight blade would be better for this or an inverted V shape. I don't think so, man. Like I said earlier in the thing, I think that point getting down in there is actually pretty critical because it gets down in there and starts splitting it starts pushing those blades. Now, as you can see, I actually did split some of these. It got in between some of the blades, but that hardened blade is so sharp, it literally just splits right through it. It cuts the metal like nothing. Um, so even though I don't have the full stroke or width that I need to do that in one piece, you don't need a huge blade to do it, you know? And I didn't burn up a Sawzall blade. I'm not making dust. I'm not wasting grinding blades. Anybody that's ever ground the end off knows how them grinding blades, unless you got one of those diamond blades, they really, what's up, Adam W? They really do, you know, you'll blow through a lot of them. And if you plan on doing a lot of this stuff on a volume, tonnage, splitting it is the way to go. Let's see what we got here. India certified foot gear. Yeah, man. Hey, man, I'm just giving props to my Indian folks. They like working with their flip flops on. Yeah, it does cut like butter, man. Don't forget to torch the like button. Thanks, man. I like motors because they're available everywhere. Armature shops, manufacturers, factories, HVAC, restaurant equipment, everything. Yeah. Copper, something crack in half or big nugget. Yeah. Let's see. So too bad I don't use alcohol. Yeah. So I actually quit drinking when I was 19, you know. So between the ages of like 14 and 19, I did everything that a human shouldn't do. And I learned, um, you know, I learned that drinking alcohol really isn't productive. I never had a problem with it. I liked it. I like drinking. One of the main reasons I quit drinking alcohol when I moved to Florida, it gave me a headache. And I don't like, I don't like having a headache. I just, for a while there, I would smoke weed instead. But I don't even. The funny thing is, I've never sat at a bar legally of age and drank. I used to go to bars and casinos. I grew up outside Atlantic City, New Jersey. I used to go to bars and casinos and drink 14, 15, 16 years old. I'd just sit down like I owned the place and order Jack and Coke, rum and Cokes, whatever. Um, I've never actually got drunk at a bar of age. And same thing with weed. Now they legalized weed down here in Florida. I've never legally bought weed and smoked it, you know. I kind of quit smoking and doing all that stuff when I started working for myself. I get high on life, man. I work here in my shop and building stuff. I get a high off of that. So I don't need to drink or smoke or do any of that extracurricular activities. I mean, none of that stuff bothers me. I'd actually rather people smoke weed than drink alcohol, in my opinion. You know, God gave us weed, man gave us alcohol. You know, I don't trust the stuff they put in that stuff. Alcohol while working is a horrible idea. Yeah. Um, are you running into steel compressors that have aluminum? I haven't found an aluminum yet. Me and Steve just did a bunch of them the other day. They were all copper, big nuggets too, man, and they were easy to pull. I'm originally from South Jersey. I was born in Atlantic City and grew up in the Pine Barrens out there by Scrap Farm. He's from the Pine Barrens. What do you think of Chinese ads from BSGH for copper recycling machines? Um, I'm not a fan of anything from China. Um, Unfortunately, it's hard to get away from China, man, when you're trying to do stuff. And buying, I'm all about like buying local and American made and stuff like that, but it's so expensive. Sometimes you just can't afford it. And you know, sometimes you got to go to Harbor Freight. As much as I don't like Chinese tools and equipment, man, I love Harbor Freight, dude. It's just like there's no other place like that around where you can just go and they have everything, you know? It's really sad that we don't have like an American store. But if it was like, walking onto a Snap-on truck, for what you would buy one set of sockets on a Snap-on truck, you can go into Harbor Freight and buy a whole shopping cart full of tools. It's really sad. Um, but that's the world we live in. But I'm trying to do my little part here and build a little shop where I can make something made in America, After you remove the copper, you get the steel price. So I actually got prepared steel for all the AC compressors, the housings and all the guts, and even the rotor with the aluminum. I got prepared steel for all of that. I was almost thinking of bringing it to Miami as irony aluminum, but how much is copper paying in your area? I got $4 a pound for bright and shiny. It's coming down fast, man. It was up to like 440. What's up from Romania? Ranked #1 in drinking in the world. Booze is bad for you. Romania is full of drunks. Is that what you're saying? Or just drinking? You know, I think that's a whole agenda. What happened to my other channel? Yeah, I still got it. Okay, so here's the deal with that. After talking to some people, and the subjects that I'm going to be talking about and I want to talk about, I think I'm going to have to move it to a different platform because I'm literally going to be talking crap about the people that own YouTube. And I don't want to get throttled or demonetized. $4.25 for Bear Bright here in Ohio. That's a good price, man. They drink a lot of moonshine, like 50 to 60 grade. Wow. But my other channel, yes, we're going to be working on that because there's a lot of stuff I think everybody should know. Like everybody should know that they were not taught in school, you know. What's up, Kenneth? $2.95 in it's $2.95 in Ohio where I am for Bear Bright. Dude, that's a ripoff. Where's this other guy at that said it was $4.25? $4.25 in Ohio, and then this guy's saying it's $2.95. Man, you going to the wrong thing. Truth Social? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, can you put long form videos on there? Copper is 9.5 a kilo. Well, that's like 2 pounds, 2 ounces. So that's half, you know, it'd be like half of that. All right. Let me, I want to get so I have these other transformers. Let me show you this real quick. So I want to try to split a regular transformer like this. Oh, look at this. Come here. Hey, someone escaped. So I was going to try to split one of these. Okay. Oh, where's my camera? The problem with these is, or I think it'll split it no problem. There's spacers in here going this way that if I drive the blade down in there, I think it's going to damage the blade. So we either have to knock out the spacers, and I think that's going to be a little too much work for what I want to do. But I have this transformer here. Okay. I just need to unbolt this. And I think it's going to split this one just fine. Let me get a, this is like a flathead, and man, they really don't leave you much. Let me find a flathead real quick. If I can make this bigger. There we go. I want to split this before I change the machine over because you have to kind of readjust everything from going from splitting to pulling, which is why in the future we're going to have different stations so we don't have to worry about that. This is a pretty big transformer. I hate flatheads. At least that one came right out. Look, kind of. All right, let's just get them loose first. think if a company uses flatheads in 2024, they should be taken out back and shot. This is there's no need for flatheads anymore. This was like the first screw. We're way beyond this technology. Wait, I just busted that nut right off. I need a hammer. Now this transformer we might have to space up this is like a big version of one of these. I was going to do this one too today, but I don't know if I want to sit here and take this one out. We'll see how it goes. This is just a big version of that. Let me get some cutters. Look at these taps, man. These things are huge. There's some nuggets on there. Oh, nope. We need bigger cutters. Okay. Not sure where my bigger cutters are at the moment, so we're just going to let that slide for a second. We're going to get these out. Let's get this set up. We might have to space this up. Pretty sure got some kind of something on there. See how close we can get. I think I'm going to put a spacer on that. Okay. I probably should have used a 4x4. Let me see if I can't find something to jack this up a little bit more. And this is where having a longer stroke, we wouldn't even be worried about this. Shoot. That's actually going to be too much. Let me. Okay. I think we're close. We're probably going to have to shim it, but we should just make sure we're lubed. And this is oil. That's oil that I recovered from those AC compressors. I'm just going to use it as stator lube. Wow. Man, I'll tell you what. That thing was putting some pressure on there, dude. That thing was actually struggling. Let's see if we can't give it a little help. Filled my lube. Look at that, man. It drove that steel down in that 4x4. What's up? No. Oh, look, that's Steve. Say what's up, Steve.
Hey, how you doing?
Anyway, look at that. That was tough, man. That thing was really struggling. Well, not really struggling. It was just in low speed. It was pushing through the whole time. It didn't stop moving. Wow. See if our blade's okay. Yeah, blade seems to be fine. Okay. What do you guys think about that? I like that way better than grinding. A bigger cutter is always the answer. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. So I'll tell you what, even though that thing kind of struggled, or not really struggled, it was kind of slow. I would rather do that than grind that like I would. So that style transformer, that has the plates where one's this way, one's that way. And there's no way of cutting the actual transformer. So you have to cut the coil. That was way better. There's no dust involved. And, you know, am I going after air conditioning people to get those compressors? Yeah, I'm going to start. And eventually when I'm dialed in and I can get from beginning to end, I think if I can get the process down to like 2 minutes, I think the longest process is going to be cutting the actual compressor. But what was it? Empire of Dirt or something? He had a really good setup, man. He had a turntable with a plasma cutter. He cut the bottom, one line up and then halfway around it freed it up. He's got a nice setup for open them up. You know. So we're gonna get there, and then I actually have. If you've ever seen the industrial ones that they cut them open like a can opener, man. They just come in from the side and spin them and cut it open with 4 blades really fast. And I actually have an idea to build one like that. They use them for torque, but I hate them. They're talking about the flatheads. Yeah, they suck. The big cutter is sticking out under the table. Oh, yeah, it is. You guys know what's in my shop more than I do. That's what I was looking for. Man, look at that. There's some nuggets in there. Well, you know what I was doing with these? I was throwing these in the kiln and just letting it cook all that crap off of there. Because a lot of times, not only is there this tape, but there's like this goo. And I had like a bucket of them one time, and Steve threw them in there. I mean, it kind of made a little bit of smoke, but you know, hey. Let's see. See you later, Adam. Thanks for stopping by, dude. Thanks for the gloves. Be careful with the oil. Some is toxic. It smokes. The newer oil is great, but be careful. Also, burn compressor oil out of a filled compressor. Eat soles off your shoe. Learn the hard way. Really? Okay. Steve has a threesome last night with 2 busty Latins. Yeah, and what do you think of putting an edge on that blade? The blade right there, there is an edge on that thing. That thing is actually pretty sharp. Probably hard to tell, but it's profiled down. It starts from right here, like a 1/2 inch thick. It starts here, it gets thinner, 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 and then right at the last like 1/4 inch, it really it goes like this, and then it brings it home. It's a really good design the way they have it, and the middle of it, probably hard to tell on camera, but right here in the middle, it's actually thicker, pretty much all the way down than the rest of it, than the sides, so that point pushing down has a thicker, stronger center core to it. So I'm going to go through these comments real quick, and then I'm going to reset the machine to do some pulling. Now I don't have a puller that'll open wide enough to grab this. I don't think that one will do it. That's something we'll be building in the future. So what I'll do with this is probably just put this up on 2 blocks, maybe even those 2 transformers, and just drive that down. I could use the press and just push it out or hammer it out. But just the fact that I can split these now and not grind them, don't waste the grinders. You know, they're always a pain. Sawzall, I was really never a fan of Sawzalls for cutting electric motors and transformers, because if you start grabbing the wires and it breaks it up and frays it and starts pulling it out, then it just makes a mess, in my opinion. I prefer the grinding discs, but this is a game changer right now, Yeah, Empire Dirt has the process streamlined. Yeah, he's got a good setup. But like I'd say 90% of the Stator machines, homemade or the big ones that you buy, they're geared up for electric motors. Like the Stator that I just split would be problematic for some of them. And like the big 800-pound Stators that I plan on getting and I have gotten in the past, I really haven't seen any of them that could, handle them or, in an efficient way. And that's going to be my thing. Matter of fact, those big transformers I got a couple months back, the big copper ones that weigh like a couple 1,000 pounds each. I want to be able to split them in half. Like all that cutting I did, I should just be able to put that thing up on the table, put it in the machine, split it in half, knock those coils out. It shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to process them. It shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to process a giant Stator. You split it in half and pull the stuff out, let the machines do it. Not sure if it's faster, but with wire cutter pliers, I likely could have pulled all the slats in the transformers apart. It does make handling the CU easier. One big coil. You're talking about pulling every individual piece of this with a pair of pliers? I mean, that's one way of doing it. I'm not knocking it. I mean, however you can do it, but I'll tell you what, that's not going to be efficient at all. You want to split it. It should. I mean, that took a while. I mean, would that take a minute or two? And that was still. It should be 30 seconds. It shouldn't be more than 30 seconds to split it, and it literally should be 30 seconds or less to pull that out. And once you get it split, the pulling should be the easiest part. I just picked up AC units today. How much do you pay for a 3.5-ton AC unit? I don't know. I've actually never bought them. Like the ones I bought the other day, I think I gave the guy, I don't know, $40 a piece for them or something. I just gave him like a flat rate because I had some other things going on with him. But weight wise, I'm not really sure what they go for weight wise. And then I was talking to the neighbor over here. He said like a couple years ago, they literally switched everything to aluminum. So now all the new stuff, and I've actually come across in the original set of AC stuff that I got from the other mansion, not the condensers that were outside, but the air handlers inside. A lot of those had aluminum coils in them, which was kind of disappointing. So I'm not sure how I'm going to navigate that and what to pay for that. I mean, if it's all mixed and it's one big unit, in my opinion, I wouldn't be paying much more than a irony aluminum price or a dirty. Like there's a lot of steel involved. So I've never even asked what like the scrap yards buy them as. Like I have no idea. So it's something I'm kind of getting into. I'm trying to get the machines down first. And like ultimately, I'd rather just be buying the AC compressors, big boxes of them, buy a couple tons at a time, and not worry about the individual ones and buying them, like dismantling them. But I mean, I'll take whatever comes my way. It doesn't matter. Less than half for aluminum coils. Wait a minute. You pay $20 a BTU, a ton. So for a 5-ton unit, you're going to pay $100 for what? Just the outside or the whole unit, inside and outside? And $10 a BTU for aluminum. So a 5-ton aluminum unit would be $50. Now, is that for the inside and outside or just one or the other? It's kind of like light fixture scrap. I think it's better to buy motors, compressors, and transformers than the whole fixture. Man, let me tell you something. Back in the day, all I bought was transformers, and they were like this. The most I ever had to do was knock these brackets off because the contractors would go replace them and bring them back to their shop and throw them in a bucket that I gave them. So I was literally just picking up 55-gallon buckets of transformers, from customers all day long. I didn't buy copper wire. I didn't buy light fixtures. There really wasn't many light fixtures to buy because they were maintaining them. I didn't buy aluminum. I was literally, that's all I wanted, because I still to this day haven't found anything recycling-wise that makes as much money as like 1,000-watt copper transformer. And that was 1,000-watt transformers and 400-watt transformers were 75% of the business. I'd say like maybe 50 to 60% of them were 1,000-watt transformers. And then the rest were a mixture of 400s, 175s, and stuff like that. But it was all transformers, man. And it was, I could go out, and the good thing about transformers, I didn't have to spend a lot of money for them. It's like copper wire. I have to put out so much money to make like a third. So for every $1,000 I spend on wire, I'm going to make like $300. For every $1,000 I spend on transformers, I could make $3,000. So you were tripling your money. And it was great. I could go out, and it'd be hard to spend $1,000 or $1,500 a day buying transformers. That was literally would max out my F-350. The crane that's on my trailer used to sit in the back of this truck I have sitting out back of my shop. And I just had a big tote in the back, and I would literally just go around and pick up. I'd fill that truck up. Like, I'd be squatting, man, coming back with those transformers, man. It was great. Let's see. Brian Bradshaw, whole units is what that price. So that's the inside and outside for $20. Inside and outside is what I pay at $20. Okay. That seems reasonable. If they're copper, do you make any money if they're aluminum, like breaking them down? Like, that seems like a lot of work for not a lot of return. I hate like aluminum. When I see aluminum coils and transformers, man, it's like really heartbreaking, because when I first started, I don't think the first couple of years I ever even seen an aluminum transformer until one day I went to the West Coast and bought a whole barrel. Like, I just literally used my crane and my claw, and I picked up the whole barrel, weighed it, put it in my truck, and gave the dude an empty barrel. I didn't even check them. When I got back to the East Coast of Florida, like 80 to 90% of them were double aluminum transformers, and I lost money. That was the one and only time I lost money buying transformers. I give a deposit with a 20-ton, 50-ton roof unit, 60 to 40 split, couple grand a shot. I make 800 for the day. I'm very quick though. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, that's what I'm looking to get into them big units, man. I'm having a hard time getting rid of aluminum coils from nice sized AC units. What do you mean? Nobody will buy them? I mean, they should buy them as a aluminum radiator, aluminum rads. That's what they buy them in Miami. Let's see the other truck. It literally looks like my other truck, but it doesn't have full four doors. It has like the half suicide door in the back. We're going to be actually doing some work on that shortly, coming up here soon. I got some things to do to my other truck once we dial that in. It requires paperwork at TMR, even if broken down. Really? I just took some AC compressors there the other day. Maybe they didn't check what I was throwing off the truck. I threw it all in the prepared steel too. All the housings, all the inside stuff, everything. I threw that stuff right off and prepared, man. All right, look, I'm gonna get this thing set up to pull that copper. So just give me a second, hang out for a minute, get yourself a drink, smoke a cigarette, whatever you guys are into. We're gonna start pulling copper. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to come down, or I might be able to use the little V block. You guys haven't seen it. You're gonna see a little sneak peek of upcoming video. I made custom V blocks for the smaller motors. This is what makes this machine so versatile. You can quickly swap from one setup to the other. Oh, this is the custom V block I made, all out of scrap, stuff laying around the shop. You'll see the video coming up here shortly. This is the base. I don't know if we're going to have enough stroke to do this, but we'll try. We're going to be close. I might just have to put a 4x4 under that. Oh, we're so close, man. We stroked out. With just a 2x4. Now I am going to have to clamp this down, and this is all temporary stuff. think that's going to hold that just fine. I am going to put a clamp, if I can find it, on the back side to keep that from rolling up. Okay. Now, see that? And I relocated the tool balancer to behind the press, so it actually pulls this into the thing, because when it was right here, it wasn't really doing much. It's doing a lot better on the backside now. As you can see, it's pulling itself into it. I'm not sure if these little V blocks, I made these little V blocks for the smaller motors. This one here is almost big enough to where I could have just used the press without the V blocks, but we're going to try. The concept of why I built this up like this is so that I can rotate this sideways and still get the ones at the bottom. It worked out really well for the AC compressor. Look at that. Nice little nuggets. It seems like it's got more drop. A 100-ton press ain't gonna take no for an answer. It's gonna bend the crap out of everything if you're not careful. Oh, we might get it in one pull. Oh, almost. Oh, we got it. Yeah, give me that. All that copper in one pull. Now, like I said, I don't think these jaws are going to open up enough for me to about a 1/4 inch to not opening up enough. So I think that worked absolutely great. And we are going to make probably for all the different things, I'm going to need like 3, maybe 4 different style pullers. I'm going to make a really small, light one for the small motors. I'm actually going to make a bigger, more beefier one. I mean, this one's pretty beefy. It's done all the stuff so far, the big stators and everything. But I need one that opens up really wide. And I need one with like a beak where there's 2 pins and one on the other side. And that'll be perfect for getting behind the transformer right there. Let's just see if we can get some copper out of that transformer. Just use these. Oh. Just gonna let that dry. Use transformers to recover the transformer copper. We're going to start off with this broken blunt punch. And Steve's little baby hammer. This might not get the job done. Oh, this is coming right out. Look at that. That's a nice nugget. Oh, this is the slot side with all the slack and stuff on it. This one kind of came apart. But look at all that crap that was on there. It's like that black potting compound that's in the ballast. And it smells like them ballast. But oh, look at that. That's why that was so hard to cut. They're like almost like a bus bar. It's like a big solid bar of copper. I almost want to split one of these, but I know it's going to be a pain getting that spacer out. We'll do that another time. We're getting on, got about 20 more minutes. We're going to call this at like 2 hours. Let's see here. So, whoops. Yeah. What do you guys think of that? So literally everything, everything here is in the prototype stage. And like everything else, when I'm operating and running, I'm always thinking about how can I make it faster? How can I make it easier, more efficient? All right, let's see what we got. I've only heard bad things about TMR. Yeah, they're kind of funny. I only sell them steel. They never mess with me with that. I don't bring them anything else. I've had an issue with them years ago trying to give me 25 cents a pound for my copper transformer. The copper for the transformers. So they don't get none of my copper. They ask me all the time. They have their commercial buyer there all the time. They're always giving me cards and wanting to talk to me. But it's like it'd be like this other guy, SA Recycling. You know, they get you in the door and then kind of screw you on the backside. And I ain't with that. I like the people I deal with in Miami. It's a nice experience every time I go there. You know, I never have any problems. They let me mill around their yard. They let me buy whatever I want from them. They gave me some titanium rod not too long ago. So let's see what we got. Aluminum coolers is what they buy them for here in Houston, Texas. Get a 7.5 ton commercial rooftop and a 5 top. Both rooftop paid $360 and made $800. 5 hours of work to pick up and sell. So you made $805 profit, or $800 total out of minus the $360. Let's see. If you recover motor copper, scrap wire, breakers, switches, good money in it. Yeah, you know, I really like the splitting because there's no dust and it leaves such a clean cut. It's not like I was cutting some stuff in here with an air chisel. Matter of fact, I firmly am now a believer in the air chisel. Okay, it is great for cutting stuff. Like I bent the crap out of a bunch of motors. They're actually still over there. I bent the crap out of them, and I went back with the air chisel and cleaned them up a little bit. I'm going to be able to pull the copper out of them. Look for a squale bale hay hook or an ice hook. So I actually put a chain on a big generator stator one time, and it did pull a couple of them out. But here's the problem with that. It pulled one side out. And then once you pull one side of the coil, you're left with the other. You're going to have a clamp to grab it. I like the clamp where it grabs the coil or grabs a couple of the things and pulls them out, because it's not letting it just slide around. You know, I mean, the hook will work. I actually seen a couple of videos of a guy, he was pulling them up with like a hook. And then when one would pull out, he would be wrapping it around, and sometimes even wrapping it around, it would just kind of slide off. So yeah, Steve's little baby hammer. Seems to be working better with the new blocks you made. Yeah. I made them for smaller motors, but even that size right there, it works great. They're a little on the light side. Like everything that I need to be doing with this needs to be made out of 1/2-inch plate minimum. When you're dealing with this type of tonnage and just hydraulics in general, you really do need thick plate steel, man. Which is unfortunate. I had 2 more of these 4x10 steel plate tables that my old landlord he sold them to someone or something out from under me. You know, he basically stole them from me. But I'm over it. We're moving on. We're we're doing stuff. Let's see. I like it. I want to see more. Yeah, I literally just blew through a whole bunch of motors and some stators in the past couple of days. You'll see those videos. I kind of saved this one for the live stream. Pat from New Jersey, have you thought about a pallet puller? That's literally what this started life out as. This was a pallet puller. It had these ends with all these little teeth to grab the pallet. I cut them off. I put these on here. I added this. and I added the handle. This is original. And literally, I added this, and the handle. Everything else was original. That's what that started out as, a pallet puller. Great minds think alike. Can I cut your beard? You have such a handsome face. Can't see it. Yeah. I know someone else that would like that too. Everyone is grandfathered in with AC. I know a couple of high volume guys that may sell you their compressors. I will email you my contact. Yeah, great, man. It's email me. It's projectshopfl@gmail.com. Oh, and I forgot to check. I forgot to check to see if anyone wanted to come on the stream with me. So I won't be going live next Saturday, but pretty much most Saturdays, 2:00, I'm going to be doing live streams going forward. Great job, man. Love your you learned engineered by a textbook, math and physics. I wish I had applicable functional engineering. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I never even graduated high school, so not that I was too dumb for it. I didn't like the indoctrination, I guess. Something was telling me they're not teaching you, they're not educating you, they're indoctrinating you. I had other things to do besides being indoctrinated. Yeah, so I did a live stream. Nice Junk got on there with me. That was great. That's a good guy, man. I had fun on that stream. I'd like other, I think I can have up to like 10 people come on here. I don't know if I want that many, but like if 2 or 3 people want to get on, I'd love to have, other people. There was another guy too that got on there before him. And I just, it's nice to have someone else on here with me talking and chatting and, keeping up with the chat and someone else's views, I love the discussion. Love your content. Viewing from Sligo, Ireland. What's up, David? I always see you in the comments, man. I appreciate it. Can I share you a video I take of shredding? Yeah, man. Share whatever you want. Hey, come here. Look, we got the safety officer in the house today, making sure that I'm compliant with all the OSHA standards and stuff. Oh, we got a oh, shoot. We got a special delivery. Hold on a second. Hold on, I got to get some. It's my knife. I keep it right on my wire stripper. Stab myself in the head, put my headphones on. This must mean the editor is here. Oh. Oh, I don't stab it. Are they double bagging things now? Pure graphite powder. Hey, man. Thank you to the guy that sent me that. Now I can, I just want to look at this. Now we can make some more videos with the ingot maker, which I got over there on a milling machine right now. So I haven't, oh, look at that. I don't want to put that over my computer. I have graphite up in my keys and stuff. Um, hold on a second. So, yeah, my editor lives out by my mailbox, so they literally save me time and money going out there and bring me stuff, bring me presents. So it's a win-win. So everybody give a shout out to the editor. We appreciate them very much, and they got some good videos coming up for you. Let's close it before disaster. Yeah, we gotta. Can you share a video? Oh, wait a minute. I already read it. Yeah. I don't know if you can share it like on YouTube. Sometimes YouTubes are funny about links, but you can always email it to me or send me the just email it to me. It'd be better. Any luck finding an alternative shop, a royal location? Yeah, we're actually looking for a royal location because this place is killing me. I'll get some casting ready to go if you want to see that. See what? The graphite powder? It's a huge SA machine in the local yard. Amazing piece of equipment. I'm not sure what you're talking about, dude. Again. Um, Love me some dogs. Was that one of the dogs you had in your truck on a job one time? Um, Recently? That dog is kind of a new addition to the family. Have you thought about your water sluice for your? Yeah, actually, I have, and I was talking to someone just recently. They have two small granulators they want to sell for a decent price. I'm thinking I just might buy them. I just need to come up with some extra cash and go. I think he's in Georgia or something. It's where they are. So it might be a road trip. But what I have planned, I'm definitely. I'm not a fan of the air tables, like the air separation tables. I know they work great and whatnot. I like the water sluice for a couple reasons. Mainly dust and the cleanliness of the copper that comes out. But there's something that I'm gonna do that I've pretty much worked out how I'm gonna achieve it. But I'm gonna have a new water sluice. We're gonna use some of the old components, but there's gonna be a whole new setup and something that no water machine anywhere for recycling copper has. It's going to be epic. It's going to actually help wash it, it's going to help separate the plastic from the copper. It's going to help polish the copper because there's going to be a reason for that too. And it's going to help dry the copper in a very unique way. Close it. Don't spill that. Yeah, that stuff looked like it was. I mean, it's like it's already all over the knife. Um, Someone said they were sending you graphite. Yeah. Graphite air is not good around electronics. It's conductive dust. Really? Okay. Don't sneeze around that. I got some in a toner. Wicket on the spill. Another hard lesson learned. Okay, we'll keep that away from. We'll keep that away from everything. My editor has been doing great. Yes, they're amazing. Definitely helps me keep up the consistency. 6 months ago. Oh, I was babysitting the little dogs. No, those dogs actually. So the little dogs that were in that video, I actually found those dogs running through a parking lot. Some lady was chasing them, trying to take them to the pound. I found them. They lived their first they still had their baby teeth. I found them. They lived their first 6 months in my last shop. And then I found a home for them, someone that needed some dogs, some puppies in their life, probably saved their life. Oh, John Daly sent $20. Good show today. Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it, dude. I appreciate all the comments, all the suggestions. I always see the suggestions you leave. I really do appreciate them. All of them. Adam, I appreciate you for sending me the gloves. I didn't wear any today because my hands are dirty, but I use them. You'll see when I was splitting those stators and the videos coming up, I did use them. I use them all the time. I really do appreciate that. Like I said, John, the knife, I use it almost daily. I love this thing. Have a nice day, guys. See you in the next live. Have fun, Project Shop. Stay safe and healthy. You too, White Rhino. I really appreciate you stopping by. Oh, thanks for the $5 sticker, Brian. I appreciate it, man. I never forget a good dog tale. I love dog. I'm a dog person, man. It's a shame that I didn't start YouTube when I had my dogs. I had 3 big, beautiful pit bulls. They were trained off leash, the most respectful dogs you've ever seen. They looked very intimidating, but they were amazing. They were basically a reflection of me. And I used to ride. When I used to cut concrete. I used to bring them to work with me, even though a lot of job sites, you're not supposed to have your dog. I'd roll up to a job site. I'd get out. I'd have my dog off leash, which freaked out a lot of people. I had a big 80-pound black pit bull and with a big spike collar, man. He looked real aggressive, but he just wanted to be pet and fed. That's basically it. Is my dog licensed to carry? That's funny. I actually have a meme for that. But yeah, my dogs went everywhere with me, man. And I was really good at my last job, so I would get requested a lot. They'd request me to come back, so they'd always say, "Hey, man, send that dude with the beard and the big pit bull out here." Even though some jobs you weren't supposed to have dogs, they didn't care. They just wanted me to get out there and get the job done. They liked me and my dog. I have the mechanical guts to 2 old Montel clocks, almost positive all brass gears, maybe 3 to 5 pounds. If you can furnish address via email, I'll send them to you no charge. Okay, man, I'll melt that stuff down and make an ingot. And that's cool. You know what? I love old clocks, like the big ones, the intricate gears, man, and the complexity of everything that's going on in there is really amazing to me. I like anything like that with gears and, you know, cams and stuff like that. Um, it's always pretty cool. Um, so if you want, you can email me, Mike Z, or if you just go to any one of my regular videos and look in the description down in there, you'll see an address where you can send fan mail or whatever. That's my PO box, basically. It's secure, so whatever you mail there is going to a place where they have to sign for it, and it's held in a building that no one's going to steal it. That's why I have that like that. Um, so if you want to send that, that'd be great, man. I'll make a cool video with it. Great show. First live I've managed to catch. All the best. Good luck. See you on the next one. Thanks, Tracy. Appreciate it. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to do live streams every Saturday, except for probably one Saturday a month. I won't be able to do it. You just got the job done right with no whining and bitching, so they liked you. Yeah. Not only that, man, I was really good at, like, when I cut concrete, I was doing concrete demolition. Years before that, and all my family up north, like, they're all block masons and like concrete finishers. So I poured concrete. I was a concrete finisher before that, you know? So when it come to cutting concrete and dismantling it, I kind of had a good idea how it was all made and where the rebar was. And plus I just get in tune with the machines. And then I was hopping up the machines. You know how I like to soup shit up, man. my cutting truck, we had these F550 box trucks. Mine was unlike any other truck in the company. I was the only one that had my own welder. I had my own air compressor. I had my own tools. I had everything you could do. Plus, we had a lot of 480 volt equipment, 480 saws, 480 drills. We had 480 volt water cooled drills where the water would go through the motors and cool them down. We would like our core drills. We had handheld ones, up to like 6 inches. Then we had 110 drills. Then we had 480 drills that could spin up to 24-inch bits. And then we had hydraulic drills that could spin 60-inch diameter cores. We did big stuff, man. I worked for the second largest concrete cutting company in the whole country. I went all over the country doing all kinds of stuff. And I modified, like my boss trusted me enough. He let me modify $100,000 pieces of equipment because I told him, hey, dude, if you let me do this, I could get the job done in half the time. And since they're charging by like the foot or by the job, I'd make the company tons of money, which never reflected on my paycheck, which is why it wasn't a problem for me to leave in that company. They didn't want to pay me no more. Florida is a right to work state or whatever it's called. And they wouldn't pay me more than like $25 an hour, 30 or whatever it was I was getting paid at the time. It wasn't a lot compared to what they pay people up north. So that was always an issue. I like working for myself. I get to do, I get to build, which is what I really want to do, is build and make stuff. My ultimate goal is to be like an American manufacturer, and I'm on my way. Getting a milling machine, and the next thing, the lathe. I actually have something very important I need to make on that lathe, like life changing, which we need to get on ASAP, and then the melting of the stuff. Like I've always, since I started recycling transformers 12 years ago, 13 years ago, wherever it was, I always wanted to make something with that copper. And I'm like, I'm pretty much there, man. I'm able to melt the copper, and now I'm able to machine it. The next step is a CNC. I need a CNC machine, like a small one. I don't need a huge one to start out with. Eventually we'll get a bigger one. We're going to start out with a semi-industrial desktop CNC, something I can mill aluminum and copper, prototype some parts. And we're going to start cranking out. I have a couple cool things I want to start making and sell. So an all-in-one machine for everything. Yeah, I do need a bigger shop. Why not start more projects? Yeah, I know. Well, all the projects that I have that I want to do have been on the list. Like I have two whiteboards in my office with just lists of things on them that I need to do. And anybody that has a YouTube channel, and if they're going to be in for the long haul, which I plan on it, you should always have like 100 ideas. So all of my projects are like, not only are they things I want to do that are going to make my life easier, make money for me, and expand and bring me to do the things that I want to do. It's all content, you know. I can't just keep showing. I mean, how many times am I going to show breaking down a transformer? Or which actually I have a cool video coming up with some transformer cracking. But I put my camera at risk for you guys, so you'll see that coming up. But I want to show different aspects. I want to build, like, one of my goals is to build copper recovery equipment, you know? So, like, I mean, if someone wants to pay me enough money, once I dial this Stator wrecker in, I mean, if someone wants an industrial scale big boy Stator wrecker, I'll have proven the concept, worked out all the kinks, and have a badass machine. It's like my transformer press. That is the second. I got it right on the second try, the second rendition. Okay. The second press is the second rendition. I got it right. And those two machines, other than having like regular hydraulics with like a valve or a foot pedal, not the 10,000 psi pumps, having a bigger two double acting cylinders instead of single acting cylinders, those two presses, it's going to be very hard to break transformers faster than those machines are going to do. The only way that in my mind I've seen it done is one with a giant hammer mill. Okay. But even with that, you need some serious separation if you're going to be dealing with the aluminum coils. Like, I can deal with the aluminum coils real quick with this machine here. I haven't seen anything on YouTube other than a hammer mill that's going to process transformers faster than my Harbor Freight budget setup over there. If you're doing 5 transformers a minute, you're making money. Okay. Now, that's not realistic to keep up that pace with those machines, but 3 to 5 a minute all day long is, no problem. And then my wire stripper, the couple little mods that I've done to that. And then in my mind, I have a list of things that I haven't showed that I want to do to that. And I think I'm going to wait until I actually, I'm going to need a lathe to do that and a mill. That's one reason why I haven't built my own yet. And I just getting the mill dialed in. I'm still learning the whole ins and outs of milling. I've never had a job as a machinist. I understand the machine. I in my mind, I take a piece of metal and I can see me doing all the stuff. It's just like the beginning, the middle, the end, mainly the feeds and speeds and what type of cutters to use. And I'm limited on what I have right now as of tooling, the cutters, the parallel blocks, all the stuff you need for milling. I have a good start, and we're going to get there. We're definitely going to get there, and you're going to be brought along the whole process. But a milling machine and a lathe is what I need to make the proper Copper King recycling wire stripper, and the one that I want to bake, it's just going to blow anything on the market away. Down in Miami, they have, they bought a brand new Blue Dog or whatever. Like, it's a real industrial, like, you go online and buy it. This modified Chinese thing that I have over here blows it out of the water. There's no comparison to the speed of which I got going on here, and mainly because I hopped it up, and the way mine, it's just, there's no comparison. And we're going to take the aspects of 3 different machines and we're going to make it into one. Like when this machine, well, what I envision in my head and what I want to build, it's going to be next level. It's going to be able to strip all the copper, multiple, like the machine that I have on the side over there, where it can strip 2 and 3 at once. We're gonna be able to strip multiple wires at one time. We're not gonna have a problem with, that I have the blade walking all over. I've got a workaround to keep the blades parallel, not shifting side to side. When one side comes up, the other side's going to come up. Not jamming where the wire gets stuck up in there. And then, yeah, I do have a plan for the water sluice and granulator. It's literally going to be put right next to it. If I had this, that's another thing that I had a huge setback when I moved into this shop, and my old landlord stole a bunch of stuff. I literally had most of the steel I needed to build the wire stripper. The framework that I need, because I actually need to build a whole nother framework on the end of this table to accumulate the because the granulator is going to sit right next to my wire stripper. It's a shame I didn't have YouTube when I had my last shop. You'll see my first couple videos were actually in my last shop, if you go watch them. But I had this wire stripper, I had my homemade wire stripper, and then I had my granulator. And I was running all 3 at the same time. And you want to talk about production and blowing through wire. I had one guy, his job was to just prep wire, uncoil, straighten it out, and lay it over a sawhorse. And then whatever I was feeding the granulator as fast as I could, you have to listen to it as fast as I can feed that, and I'd let it clear out. I had one stripper set up for solid core, one stripper set up for whatever I was stripping, all the big stuff. And we were doing tons of wire, but that was back before COVID. I lost a lot of customers because of that. Some of the customers shut down and never went back to work. That was a whole situation. That's when I went, literally, you saw those videos of me working from home. That's what happened. I didn't want to pay for that shop. They were jacking up the rent back then. Yeah, that's a landlord from my old place that I used to make videos with. Big Show, AKA Big Show. Did I go to school for engineering or mechanics? No, I never even finished high school. I've been working since I was a little kid, man. I always worked with my stepfather, my neighbors. I was always interested in learning. Like if I seen someone working, doing, even as a kid, like if I seen a crew of people working on something, I'd sit there and watch them for a while and see what they were doing. And I wanted to learn. My wire stripper needs a rebuild. Yeah, I mean, it kind of does, but I mean, we just stripped a bunch of wire with it the other day. I got a pile of wire out on my trailer right now. We're going to strip. It has its issues. It's quirky, but it's going to strip wire faster than just about anything out there. Let's see. You seem to have a good grasp in machines or tools. Yeah, I just, I'm a dude, man. I love tools and machines, and I kind of get in tune with them. That's why I was good at cutting concrete, because I would get in tune with the tools. You could put me on a saw. Like we used to have these big walk behind saws. We had big 80 horse turbo diesels and 40 horse gas saws, right? You could put me on that gas saw and I would outcut the dude on the turbo diesel just because I knew how to finesse the saw. I knew how to find that sweet spot. But I like machines. I like seeing how things work. And I always look at everything like, how can this be improved? I see something and I'm like, oh, if we did this, we can make it better. And I like taking something I learned from something over here and applying it to something over here. It's almost like repurposing stuff. Like I like to repurpose scrap, make something different out of it. It's the same thing. Like if you learn something here, you can apply it over here. And, if you learn all the different trades, it kind of just like comes together. You may not be like a master at all of them, but you can accomplish whatever you want. How long did I do concrete? So growing up, I mean, I grew up finishing concrete. I did that for, I don't know, a couple years. And then I liked the demolition. Cutting concrete. I did that for maybe 8 or 9 years, something like that. And it's funny. I was never fired and I never quit. I just slowly stopped working for the company because I started getting into the transformers. And it was like, okay, so I was working 1 day a week for myself and then working for the company. And then I slowly, I stopped doing the everyday stuff like the handsaw work or the core drilling, the hand drilling. I just kind of, because I was one of the better operators, I would just do all the specialty stuff, the big, they would send me to like the nuclear power plant when there was an emergency and they needed to stop the reactor from having a meltdown because the concrete was going to crush a pipe and it had to be removed or something like that. I was the guy that you would send in to do that shit. And there have been many times where I'd show up to a job and they'd be like, hey, we're going to do this, this, and this, and that. And I'd look at the guy and be like, that doesn't make sense. It's kind of stupid. I would do it this way. And what I would explain to him would make a lot more sense and would get the job done in half the time, And I don't know. I just see things differently. Repurposing is recycling. Yeah. Saving things from the landfill, saving things from having to go through a whole recycling process. That's why whenever I'm at the scrapyard, I'm always looking at everything they have. And I'm always like, man, why would someone get rid of this? Or like this could be reused. And especially like down in Miami, they buy from like a bunch of industrial places and they always get like brand new, still in the package, racks of like brand new stock. And it always like, man, why would someone scrap that? They're not going to get what they paid for it out of it. Why can't it be repurposed? And I think most of it is we live in a throwaway society, throw it away and get something new. Oh man, I got that powders on my knife. That stuff is dangerous. It's getting everywhere. It got on my, I'm spreading it on my computer. What a mess. What's up, Richard? Dude, you come to the last minutes. I'm about to close it out here. I recycle wood and wooden furniture and desks that someone leaves next to the trash bins. Stuff's expensive. Yeah, I try to recycle wood all the time. Did you ever do work at Oyster Creek in Forked River? I live right behind that place for a little while. I might have. I'm not sure. So, all right, we're going to close it out here. If you guys, I've been doing a lot of stuff over on, we're trying to build a following on my Instagram. And I'm always posting like sneak previews and stuff like that, and even stuff that you're not going to see anywhere else. It might just be because I don't film everything, but what I'm going to start doing is like on there and then some shorts during the week. Like if I'm not going to drop a video, I'll probably just drop a short. And go over on Instagram, we're going to be posting a lot of stuff there and all the upcoming stuff. And hey, sorry, but I don't use Instagram or Facebook or stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of people don't. And you know, it's crazy. I never did either. I was never on social media at all. I was like a ghost, man. I'm not that type of person really to put my life out there like that. I'm kind of private, but when I started YouTube, I actually started YouTube for a whole nother reason that I still 4 years into it haven't even told you guys about. And I wanted to build an audience for basically a product that I was going to be making and that we still are going to make. But that's all to come soon. But you know, if you don't have Instagram, that's fine. We're gonna you'll get all the information here. It'll all come out here on YouTube. This is my main social media hub. You should get into Cast of Metals. You could rake in the views. Yeah, man. Why do you think I'm making that custom ingots? The ingot maker. I'm gonna have the best ingots on YouTube. I'm telling you. Even the ones that I've made so far, they're pretty good. But we're going to be making all kinds of stuff. A 3D printer is something that's in the works because I want to be able to make a bunch of custom stuff that I can just pour into a 3D printed thing. And yeah, so all right, we're like 2:20 into this. We're 20 minutes overdue. Apparently, I talk too much, says people in my life and YouTube. And yeah, I do skip the outro to watch sneak peeks of the end. Yeah, the outro that's on there, that's just for new people that never seen my channel. I absolutely expect people that are long-term viewers to skip through it, you know. But there's always stuff there. And I'll buy some coins if you make some. Okay. We're going to be making all kinds of things to sell. And we're going to have a website here in a minute. So stay tuned for all that. But yeah, the outros, at the end of the outros, some of that stuff, it might just be some random stuff that I shot that's not even a video. You know, I just thought it was cool and I'm going to throw it up there. Kind of like an insight into what's going on over here. And then a lot of it is going to be just clips that I've taken out of upcoming stuff. So stay tuned for that. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for stopping by. I want to thank the subscribers to my channel, the members that, and especially the last guy that bought people 5 memberships. I really appreciate that. I'm actually working on some membership perks for the members. And then thank you for everybody that's donated in this stream. John and Brian, I believe. Yeah, Brian Bradshaw and John Daly. I really appreciate that. I appreciate all the comments you guys leave on the regular videos. Like I said, I do try to answer. There was a while there where I was kind of overwhelmed with everything. I couldn't keep up with it. But I have been answering every question on YouTube. I do try to do that now, and I'll continue to do that. I appreciate all the comments, suggestions, even if it's not applicable to what I'm doing. I like thinking about them, and leave them, man. I appreciate it. And on that note, I'm going to wrap things up. Like again, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one.